Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What I'm doing today is just giving you a quick review of the Anastasia Sultry palette. So you would have seen in my recent haul that I picked this one up. I've had a bit of a play with it and I've created the look that I'm wearing right now. At the end of this video I will run through what I did to get this look. Now this look has been on for, would be at least 7 hours now, so I've been out and about all day. Just wanted to kind of see how it wore and how it kind of held up. So I think it's held up quite well. It still has quite nice pigment and it hasn't moved all over the place, which is always a great thing, especially with my eyes. I tend to rub them and do all those kinds of crazy things with them throughout the day. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm talking to you about the individual colours, I will insert in here, I did some live eye swatches as well as some arm swatches. So the palette comes with 14 shades. Now I was really keen for this palette because of it being or pulling more cool toned. I prefer cool tone shadows. I know with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance that I've got, I tend to use those cooler tones within that more than I use the warmer tones. The palette also comes with a dual-ended brush, which is what I used when I applied the brush swatches onto my arm. It has a blending brush end and just a dense packing brush on the other end. As well as that comes with a mirror. I rarely use mirrors in the palettes, so that's not a big concern for me. And yeah, I have to say, I really like, so far, the quality of this palette. So the first colour that comes in the palette is Fresh. Now, Fresh is a cream colour, so I'm just going to apply it here. It's just a cream colour. It applies lovely. It feels like butter. I used it all over my lid for this look, and it's a great one to, I guess, set down your makeup, your eyeshadow primer. And yeah, it's just a cream coloured eyeshadow. It's a good thing to have in a palette. The next shadow is Pearl. Now Pearl, when I swatched it the first time, it doesn't really, it's not a thickly pigmented shimmer, and you can see it kind of on my arm. It's there, but it doesn't really go down that well. I think it's probably one of those things that's more designed as a topper, and that's how I used it today. And you'll see in the look at the end of how I did that. The next colour is like an old bronze gold, and it's called Steampunk, the perfect name for it. So we've got Steampunk here, and this is a beautiful foiled shadow. Goes on beautifully. I think the Anastasia shimmers are lovely. The next colour is Rose Quartz. Now Rose Quartz is exactly what it is. It says it is. It is a rosy shimmer. So this is it going on now. And again, just a lovely colour to add to a look. You would see in the swatches that I've been putting up, the eye swatches, that I put it on with the brush and then I have gone in and put it on with my finger. They do apply much better with the finger. Okay, we can get that shimmer on much more intensely and we get that metallic foil look coming through. The next colour is Ember. Now Ember is more of a true bronze colour. It is a shimmer as well, and it's my kind of colour. It's kind of that grungy, dirty, it's the colours I like. Next one is, I guess, the token warm colour in the palette, which is Bloom. It is a matte coral. It does apply lovely in a swatch, and it also applies quite nice and evenly on the eye. I think it's one of those colours that could be used to just change up the look a little bit, you know, add that little something something to it. And the last colour in the top row is Birch, and this is a camel matte, and just a good neutral transition colour. So that is the top row. On to the second row now, and this row kind of has my heart a little bit more. It's a bit more grungy, a little bit more grey. The first colour is Cinder. So if we look at that, it's not a bronze and it's not a rose, it's kind of in between. It's a beautiful colour. We then have another matte, and this is a deeper greyish colour. This is Twig. This is beautiful. Love it. Definitely pulling on that cool tone. Then we have Teak. Now Teak is kind of like a copper bronze. Applies beautifully. Then we come to the one colour in the palette that I probably wasn't too impressed with, and that is Dystopian. So Dystopian is the dark matte brown, and it just did not swatch well at all. It was swatched quite patchy on the arm and with a brush, and it kind of, when I was doing the brush swatching, it kind of dusted away. I think it's a colour that you could definitely get to work, but I think you're going to have to be prepared that it might require a few layers and a bit of building up to get that colour to apply well. Now, the next colour would have to be my favourite colour in the palette, and this is Cyborg. Now, it looks silver when you first see it, but when you apply it, it has this purpley, taupey undertone to it that is just gorgeous. That's the majority of what I have on my lid today, and I'm like, I love that colour. The next colour is a grey matte, and this is called Slate. Exactly what it says it is. It's a slate grey matte. I just applied that, just realised I just applied that over Cyborg, so I'm just going to take it to the side there and apply it. Again, I've done a double one. There we go. Then we've got the last colour in the palette, which is Noir, and it is an absolutely beautifully pigmented black. Now, soft, yes. So when I did the first swatch with this, it kind of crumbled in the pan, so there was a lot of kickback with it, but it just, look at it, it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful black. And as soon as I swatched it and Cyborg, I'm like, that is what is going to be the standouts of the first look I apply on my eyes. As to the palette, now in typical Anastasia style, there is a lot of kickback. Okay, so they are very softly formulated eyeshadows. That's okay. You've just got to be prepared. When I went in and did this, I already had my base down. I just put some translucent powder on underneath my eyes to catch any of the fallout. There was fallout. That happens with having such a softly packed shadow, but they blended beautifully, and I certainly can't complain with how they perform on the eyes. And I'm sure you would have seen that with the swatches that have been played as we've been going through. that they all generally looked really good on the eye, except for that dystopian colour. I'm just going to run you through now the look that I have on my eyes at the moment, show you how I got it. It's just going to be a quick little talk over of what I did. I'm not going to go into too much detail with it. If you would like me to see me do probably something like a 3 looks 1 palette with this, let me know. I think it's going to be a palette that I'm playing with quite a lot. It kind of calls to me. The glittery packaging just says, use me, use me. You paid $100 for me, use me. So I think that will definitely be something that's getting used by me in the coming months. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you like cool tone shadows, I didn't get Soft Glam or Novena or any of those ones. There was none of them called to me. The shadows that I liked in Anastasia's Modern Renaissance palette, they were kind of not the ones that were in Soft Glam, and I'm like, it's a bit too warmish for me. No. And then Novena was a little bit too on the purple side for me. I thought about it, and then I'm like, no, I really won't use it. It's not really my everyday kind of style. So when I saw the Sultry palette, I'm like, yeah, right. I kind of was like twist, 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 twisting my own arm, and went ahead and ordered it. So the first thing I did with this look was put Soft Ochre MAC paint pot down as an eye primer, and then I went in with a large fluffy brush and used Fresh, the cream matte, and just applied that all over my lid. I then went in with Twig, and I went in on an E25 blending brush, and I used it in a vertical position so that I could get a wider spread across my crease area, and I blended that out and blended it into the Fresh up into my brow bone. What I then went in and did was I took Slate, and I took Slate on that E25 brush again, but this time I used it horizontally, and I kind of pushed it into my crease and blended it through just to create that dimension and a little bit of that grey depth into the crease, because that's where I was going to head next when I blended the black eyeshadow into the crease. So next I come in with Noir, and I used a packing brush and I packed it all over my lid. So I packed it right from my eyelash line all the way up to my crease line, and it's just such a beautiful black. I then went in with that E25 Sigma brush and blended it out with a little bit of that Slate, and started blending it through the crease just so that I didn't have a harsh line. What I then did was I took a little bit of concealer. I used the Colourpop No Filter concealer, and I created a halo on my eyelid. So I just put that in kind of like a fat V shape, and I didn't really want it to be opaque of concealer. I didn't want to get rid of the black underneath. I just used a thin layer of concealer. The black still kind of shone through. It was just more something sticky for the shimmers to stick onto. So then I took Cyborg, and I packed Cyborg all over that area that I had placed down the concealer. And I took my E25 again that I was using to blend through the crease, and just blended a little bit of, just blended it through just to make sure that that transition was there. I then took Ember and applied that just on the outer edges of that Cyborg, so between Cyborg and Noir, just to kind of provide that transition between the black and the silvery colour, just to give more of a soft gradient. Once I'd done that, I took Pearl and I just put that on my finger and applied that right to the centre of my eyelid, just to add that little bit of shimmer and dimension to the lid. And then I went back in with Noir and put it back on the outer corner because it had lost a little bit of its intensity through all of the blending and the colours being applied. And then took it back through the crease and just blended that out. And I just kept blending until I was happy that there was a nice fade there between the colours. When it come to the lower eye, I took Noir on a pencil brush and packed that into the outer half of my lower lid. Then I went in with Slate, and I took Slate probably 2/3 of my lower lid and grabbed the blending brush that I'd been using and just smoked that out together so that, and I was taking it up at the side to meet with the black shadow that I had on top of my eyelids. I then took a little bit of Cyborg and patted that into my inner third of my lower lid just to bring a little bit of shimmer and open up the eyes a little bit. Because it's such a dark look, I didn't want to close off my eyes completely. I then took a little bit of Pearl and added that to my inner corner just to, again, open up the eye. I have quite deep set eyes, so I didn't really want to, with all the dark shadows, have them recede all the way back. And that was it with the eyeshadow. I applied a black eyeliner to my waterline all the way along, except for just in the inner third, mainly because otherwise it collects in my tear duct and it doesn't look good at the end of the day. And then I tight lined my upper eyelid just so that there was no visible skin, so that it looked as smoky as possible. And applied mascara and my look was done. I kept the rest of the face nice and soft so that it was, because they are quite intense eyes, and especially that it's during the day, I didn't really want to go overboard with anything else, so I just put a nude gloss on the lips and just a little bit of bronzer and highlighter on the cheeks and called it a day. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this. Subscribe, share, like, all of those great things. It helps me out. And as always, remember, be kind, be strong, and be a warrior. And I'll see you later. Bye.